World peace. What is world peace? One may wonder. World peace is the concept of an ideal state of happiness, freedom, and peace within all people and nations in the world. So, why is world peace so important? If we achieve world peace, we might be able to reduce wars, we might be able to increase the spirit of togetherness in communities, we might even be able to create an environment where everyone is respected, their values, what their views. So, this is one quote which talks about peace, which says, "Peace is more than the absence of war, it is also the absence of poverty, unemployment, and inequality." So, basically, world peace is when the world is in good shape. But then, how can we achieve world peace?
Well, imagine it like this. You are a cross, or maybe a moon, maybe a star, or perhaps branching roots. Religious men and women throughout history have always had the thought that we could take from what's rightfully theirs. But to be fair, don't you think that it doesn't make sense? And it doesn't feel right, don't you think? It never was, and here's why.
We can start by just one simple word, and that word is called tolerance. Before we move further, we need to understand what tolerance actually means first. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, tolerance is a willingness to accept behavior and beliefs that are different from your own, although you might not agree with or approve of them. Our ability to tolerate the opinion or the differences of other people is the key to living a peaceful life. And let's not forget, we're all human beings. And as a human beings, we're social beings in nature. And as a social being, we have to live with harmony and cooperate with other people. But how can we promote peace and tolerance, you might ask? Well, change is not simple. It never was simple to begin with. But when there's a will, there's always a way. Let's start from simple things, such as commit ourselves to non-violence, be more compassionate and understanding of other people's feelings, learn from a young age and to teach others by giving them positive examples. Don't be afraid to speak out against injustice and discrimination. This is actually a positive thing as long as it is done with good intention and do not cause tension to other people. And finally, being a part of a religious community. Being a part of a religious community actually does have its own perk, such as connections and certain events such as charities and etc. But how about tolerance in Indonesia, you might ask? Well, the answer is kinda complicated. There have been plenty of tension between different beliefs, with Muslim being the dominant religion in the country. One such post from Quora retells that most Indonesians that never had any real conversations with people with different backgrounds tends to be negative about them. But as time goes on, more and more people become acclimated to other cultures. But there's also a different story, according to BakerInstitute.org. Tolerance in Indonesia, especially regarding religious freedom, is still at its infancy. As you can see here from this picture, we might remember this picture back in 2017 about the case of Ahok. To put it simply, Ahok made a joke at his campaign about a particular verse in the Quran that is being misused to dissuade Muslims from voting for Ahok. The remarks were edited to suggest that Ahok actually was insulting the Quran, triggering a huge protest of around 800,000 Muslims on the streets of Jakarta, demanding for Ahok's arrest. This is actually one of the examples of religious freedom, which is still pretty weak, especially nowadays in the modern age in Indonesia, and I'm hoping as time goes on, especially with the younger generations, we as Indonesians are more open to other cultures and promote tolerance and peace. And now, we have one specific quote from Robert Greene Ingersoll, which is best known as an American writer and a lawyer, especially during the golden age of freedom of thought and speech. Tolerance is giving to every other human being every right that you claim for yourself. This means that we have to treat our people the same way as we treat ourselves.
One of the ways we can practice tolerance is by appreciating the concept of diversity. Diversity means understanding that each individual is unique and recognizing our individual difference. This can be along the dimension of race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, socio-economic status, age, physical ability, religious belief, political belief, and other ideologies. The fact that there are over 190 countries in the world and each country has numerous languages and tribes within them, so we can't hide from diversity. It's all around us, it's in our neighborhood. Some scholars believe that there are more than 3,800 cultures in the world, but of course this number is far higher in reality. Cultures aren't restricted to territories of countries. One religion alone could have dozens of communities with their unique system or belief.
So, in conclusion, when we talk about unity through tolerance and diversity, what first appears in our mind is world peace. Unity is not far off from world peace. World peace itself is not only about the absence of war, it's about the ideal state of freedom, the ideal state of happiness, and the ideal state of peace. So how do we achieve world peace? Many people said that religions were the cause of wars. They sparked the fire that instigated conflicts. However, this is not entirely true. In fact, religions teach us to love others, as the Golden Rule states. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If religions are not the main issue, then what is it? It's within ourselves. Religions will not have caused conflicts if all of us had tolerance. In short, tolerance is about accepting others' opinions or beliefs that might be different from us, whether we agree with them or not. Building tolerance is not just a theory, but it's about applying it in our lives. Especially in Indonesia, the importance of tolerance is much higher, given that Indonesia is an extremely diverse country. Diversity, the varying ideologies and beliefs, is a beauty to embrace. But sadly, in Indonesia there have been many conflicts associated with religions. As citizens of Indonesia, we want to minimize this as much as possible before they progress to even bigger problems. We can start by being examples to our surroundings, showing them the positive effects tolerance can bring into our lives.